Perhaps
Thank you.
along the same lines, though, at what point do animals share the same sense? Do other primates share the same sense of right and wrong as we do? And do they adhere to the golden rule? At what stage is this?
With the higher primates do, and we're learning much more and more about how apes and pigs and many others have elementary families and kinships and clan. We've been very late in studying this kind of thing. The more we find out, the more moving it is, and it's obviously based upon self-interest and survival. And it is selective for survival and for reproduction and so forth. And I suppose there could be people who would say that also was evidence of a divine design, but then that would somewhat degrade the idea that we, the human mammals, the human primates, are a special creation. And as I say, these are the sorts of problems that don't exist in my world, because I don't invent difficulties of this kind, and I don't have to.
May I have a very brief thought?
Yes, and
I do think that as human beings, we do have some unusual qualities that are inexplicable on a strictly Darwinian account. I can fully understand as evolved creatures why we would develop a brain to survive, to be able to elude the woolly mammoth, to kill the prey. I don't understand why we've evolved a brain that can understand the rotation of the planets. I don't think that man 5,000 years ago had to figure those things out in order to survive. I don't know why we would have evolved higher mathematics, the love of beauty. The point is not that we feel good when we do good things. The point is, why would that emotion have survived the Darwinian selection? Machiavelli would tell you that it's much better to be bad and appear good. That's the guy who's going to end up on top. The fellow who actually is good is going to come to grief. So why weren't all the virtuous people eliminated from the face of the earth? Because the cunning and the survivors are the ones who got to make the most descendants. The very fact that we live in a universe where all of us live in a dimension of this is the way we act, but there's a little voice that often calls us to act against self-interest. I'm walking on the river bank. I'm not a good swimmer. Somebody shouts out, "Help, help, I'm drowning." I have every Darwinian imperative to keep walking. But if I do, I know I'm going to feel bad. Some little voice inside of me says, you should have helped that person, even at a risk to your own genes and your own survival. What is the source of that little voice? It seems to have, if you will, a transcendent source. And if you don't want to call it God, you can call it universal morality. But it's within us. It is the empirical datum we're looking for, and it points to something higher than ourselves. Thank you.
While it appears that Dinesh has had the final word, that is illusory because the conversation will continue in the back of the room. It was Flannery O'Connor who said that the truth does not change according to our ability to stomach it. So I would encourage each of you to continue the conversation, sorting out the truth from the sophistry here tonight while meeting the needs of your stomach in the back of the room, where you can purchase signed autographed copies from each of our authors, as well as DVDs. I would ask you to allow our three speakers to make the exit a la rock stars that they are, so that they can get to the back of the room instead of trying to snag them along the way. I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to you there, but if they get caught here, we'll never get to the back of the room. So please allow them to exit, get back there, and settle down, and I'm sure they'd like to speak to you. Thank you.